Hi folks, John Dunn here, RPG freelancer and publisher behind Melia Via. I'm up here at Immortals Inc. with Mikey on the boards.
What is going on, John?
Well, I thought we'd talk about some RPGs tonight.
Oh, it only seems right.
It does. But before I get into that, I want to briefly touch on movies with you. You seen Godzilla?
Yes. The original or...
Not real picky. You're
Yes,
familiar
I've
with
seen
Godzilla.
I'm familiar.
All right, good. If you watched Pacific Rim.
I have watched bits and pieces. I've not watched it from start to finish.
Okay, so you know the concept behind Pacific Rim, right?
Yeah. Mechas... would you call them mechas?
Sure. Call them mechas. That
Sure,
works.
right?
And they're fighting against giant monsters, right? And the name that's usually used for those giant monsters are kaiju.
Oh, really? Was that used in the Pacific Rim movie as well?
It was explicitly used in Pacific Rim, but it's also the word used for those movies in, I think it's a Japanese word. It probably means something like big honkin' monster, right?
Yeah, I just put it next to your face.
There we go.
That's the definition.
The basic premise is a kaiju shows up and it trashes a city, right?
Like what kind of city we talking here? A town? Or
Well, I mean,
a major city?
archetypically, we're talking about Tokyo because
Oh
everybody
my.
wants to come and eat Tokyo.
So major damage.
Yeah, once that happens, somebody's got to come around and clean up that mess. You can't just leave the city trash. Did you watch Spider-Man Homecoming?
Of course.
All right. Do you remember the Vulture?
Yeah. He was pretty, pissed off because, he was supposed to be the crew that helped, wasn't it clean up New York after the attacks?
Exactly.
But then somebody else came in and was like, screw you, buddy.
That's kind of a core part of Kaiju Incorporated, which is the game we're going to talk about tonight. Published by Evil Hat. It's not a real thick book here. It's powered by their Fate system. And let's see, we're at probably around 100 pages. No page number. Yeah, right around 100 pages. Maybe a little under. The whole concept of this is that, like Damage Control in the Marvel Universe, you're the group that comes around and cleans up the mess that the kaiju left behind. You're not generally the folks who are going to actually fight the kaiju. There's people for that. They're called aces, and it's their job to defeat the kaiju. It's your job to clean up the mess and maybe make some money off of it and maybe figure out some new technology behind that.
This is a very interesting RPG.
It's a pretty clever system. The author behind it is a guy by the name of Rob Wieland. His name's right on the cover. The artist behind it is Brian Patterson, and I think he deserves a ton of credit because the art in this is consistent throughout and extremely thematic.
Would you mind passing me the book? I don't know if it's green screened out or whatnot, but I need to show them the cover. It's green. That's why, it looked like...
Sure.
It looked like it was part of the background, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Incredible Hulk cover, kind of. Not really.
In terms of game mechanics, it's pretty typical Fate character creation. One thing that's kind of fun is when you're setting up your aspects, the last one is set up as part of a job interview for why Kaiju Incorporated should hire your character. So as you're doing that, the game master and the other players interview you in character, and it can be typical interview questions or it could be more kaiju themed ones, and then you create up an aspect from that. I thought that was a pretty clever element, and it does add in some new hybrid stunts that are kind of tied into the setting. I'll come back to that though. In terms, once you get past character creation, there's a World Gazetteer that describes the kaiju and the kaiju aces. Those are the guys that pilot the robots and other machines that are used to defeat the kaiju. But then the other thing that's in here that's pretty cool is there's corporations that make bank off of the kaiju. And sure, some of that is in the cleanup, but some of it is in crazy science that comes out of the kaiju remains and other things, because the whole world has gone kaiju crazy. So like they talk about fashionistas having handbags that are made of kaiju skin, or using kaiju components to make armor or reinforce cars or as fuel for rockets. Just all kinds of crazy elements of it. Really weird science. It's kind of like Day After Ragnarok that we talked about previously, where there was crazy science that was coming out of the World Serpent. Same kind of thing here.
So it's interesting too because it literally is so connected to the theme of Homecoming. It's great you mentioned it, but yeah, also Ragnarok, because scientists want whatever's in these animals. And how often do these kaiju come to the city anyways?
Apparently very often, because that's what's able to keep these companies in business.
Right.
This one is a lot more tongue-in-cheek than either Pacific Rim or Day After Ragnarok, right? Because you're just consistently going around cleaning up these huge messes and continuing to encounter kaiju multiple times in your lifetime, which I think would make for some awfully short lifetimes, but hey, who knows?
I mean, for real, what's the life expectancy wherever these things are spawning?
I can't imagine it's real high.
Nah, probably 30s, 40s.
The other thing that's linked to that, though, is because there's all these corporations using kaiju bits. Now, they assure you that they won't do any harm at all, but the fact of the matter is people get some weird abilities after extended exposure to kaiju or kaiju technology. And that gets back into that hybrid stunt system that I mentioned earlier. Your character may have some kind of weird mutation, and that might be why they were hired by Kaiju Inc. Like they might have, tentacles coming off of their body, or acid sweat, or, not world-changing powers, but weird features.
Acid sweat would hurt. I mean, if it affects you directly, that would hurt. If it affects anything besides you, then it's kind of cool.
Your clothing budget goes through the freaking roof, though, right?
Yeah, what are you going to wear? You have to find a specific tailor that knows how to handle your skin.
Well, everything's acid washed, obviously. Adventure generation is kind of a collaborative process, which I thought was a pretty neat element of this, where you set up complications and basically things get set up dynamically. It's the game masters working with the players to talk through what kind of challenges come up in the adventure and what they're going to have to overcome. And then the players work through those different challenges to eventually figure out how the kaiju might be defeated and how the messes might be cleaned up. There are a discussion of the corporations that are benefiting at the same time as they're cleaning up the messes. There's some sample kaiju in here. There's 15 of them in this book, though I don't think it'd be, a huge matter to come up with more. Though maybe this isn't a game you're going to run forever, so 15 might be enough to keep you going for a while.
I think they need to figure out a solution to get rid of these kaiju rather than resource off them, because wait till another Godzilla comes along and wipes everybody out.
No, see, man, this is corporations in capitalist America. They don't want to solve the problem.
Of course not.
They want to make money off of the problem. They talk about some of the everyday objects that are based on kaiju technology and the corporations, again, that are profiteering off of them. And finally, this is apparently based off of a card game that Evil Hat also publishes. I haven't played it or even gotten a good look at it, but thematically, if it's the same and it looks like it's using the same artwork, it's got to be a pretty entertaining game. So that's something you might want to check out as well.
I wonder how that would work too, considering it's a card game rather than an RPG.
Well, I mean, completely different style of play.
For sure.
I'm guessing, there's going to be elements that'll change based on which kaiju you're facing. Beyond that, it is Fate, so it's not really intended for character advancement or extended play, but I think you could have a lot of fun in one-off adventures, or even, an arc of a few adventures consecutively where you're working with the same team. There's a lot of zaniness in here, and you could really just go to town exploring different elements and different types of corruption as you're defeating these different monsters.
And your favorite thing about this game?
Honestly, it's got to be a kind of a toss-up between the artwork, which really is compelling. You can see here, you got this guy that's just going about his business at the same time as there's a kaiju over here destroying the city. But then just the general high concept that, yeah, they made a mess. They're not my problem. The cleanup afterwards is my problem because I got to live in this world.
Yeah, I would have to say that's the highlight for me too, is the latter of that. It's just like, really? Like, it's awesome how they direct it to one specific task. I think that's really cool.
Once more, that's Kaiju Incorporated, published by Evil Hat Games. About 100 pages, full color interior, $20. This is a hardcover, so you're getting some bang for your buck, and that book should hold up for a while. It's on the shelf here at Immortals Inc. Stop and take a look. Thanks for watching. Good gaming.
Like I just turned 21, yeah.